Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media, where I have pulled out pretty much every color green I own and some green blues to do some painty papers for some grungy leaves, and also because I just like greens and blues and browns. And oh, did I mention this also browns? I don't have much brown. I'm surprised at how little brown I've got. So I'm starting with just gesso, because that is often how I start. And if you're wondering why that looks like that, it's because I had gesso here and I pushed it down and some of the paper came off onto this paper, and it's all right. It's fine, because in the end, who knows what will show. But I thought, you know, this green paper bag might be fun to use. Like, hopefully a little bit of the green will show through in the end. It's fine. It's fine. It's why I picked it, I mean, to be honest. So we've got, you know, a little turquoise on here. That's fine. I should do a couple where I don't even do any gesso, huh? The interesting thing, though, I mean, not unexpected, is that when I put the gesso over here where the inks are, the distress inks, which are water soluble, you get to where the inks wick up into the gesso. So then you get kind of a yellowy or a really pale green or yellow kind of thing happening. All right, I'm just gonna do half of this one with gesso, and then we'll see if we like if I think about it later, we'll see if I like one side better than the other. I won't think about it later. I'll forget that I did half of it gesso and half of it not. The gesso is probably not even really gonna be seen, but yeah, this is what I did before, is I just pressed paper down into the gesso just to kind of clean that gesso up a little bit. Which gives you random bits of gesso. In fact, that's even a way that you could totally apply gesso, is just by, you know, spreading it on whatever. You could use your gel plate and do the kissing technique that Carrie the Crafter does, where you put the paint down on the plate and then you just kind of touch down in different places with the paper that you're wanting to add bits to. A lot of times we will do that to push a background back. If you're wondering why we do a kissing technique, it adds texture and interest in the background, and sometimes we do it to push back the background to make it more of a background. All right, this one will, so this is Amazon packaging. I had gotten rid of a lot of it in my studio decluttering, but fortunately I ordered something and had some, so I have it for this project. I think I'm going to, so if you don't have gesso, and if you're new and you don't know what gesso is an opaque matte white ground applied to surface to seal and prepare before painting. That's not why I use it. I use it just because it gives some added, it gives something in the background, and it takes different than the paper does. Not as important with paints as it is with inks, probably. Because paint's going to cover whatever, but then some, you know, and it's brown paper, so if some of the white gesso shows through, I don't mind that. I'm fine with that. All right, kind of want, so now I've got antique white. Is it that? Yeah, antique white. I've got a lot of greens apparently in the craft paint section here, so I'm just gonna come over with this. Now, if you don't want your colors to mix, then you want to make sure they're dry in between. I mean, I really don't mind if the colors mix, because they're all colors that are next to each other on the color wheel, so I'm not too concerned about it. And I am using some paper bags, some map, mostly paper bags, Amazon packaging, and map. This one's just about dry. This is the map. I've gessoed it. So I've got this one, which is Wild Wasabi. I mean, I just like the name of that one, to be honest. Wild Wasabi. Also, it's a nice bright green and grunges up nicely with some browns. And also, if you want to, you can use centrifugal force. Like, you could do your whole arm to get it up there, or you could just do your hand if your wrist isn't hurting too bad. Today's a decent day, I guess, for the wrist, fortunately. And just get some out of there if you can. And you can use a brayer, you can use a palette knife, you can use a gift card, your catalyst wedge. You're just getting some paint on there. I like to do more than one color. I think it's just more interesting that way for what I'm doing. So next color, when I do another color, in fact, I might not even wait for that to dry. Let's see, this one is, how's your light green? I like to say it like that. How's your light green? How's your light? Oh shoot, that needs to get shaken up. The clear stuff, that's not supposed to be at the top. You gotta shake your paints. I need to get one of those little shaker things, I guess, that Tim Holtz has. It is slightly darker than the wasabi, but when you put it next to it, you can see that there is a difference. It's weird stuff. Okay, that's probably the binder, so now it has less binder inside, right? Let's see, I might even take a little bit of teal. This one's called teal. Shake it up and add some of that in there. It'll green up a little bit when it gets mixed with the green, but especially if I'm doing grungy leaves, I don't mind if they, oh my goodness, is this even, I don't mind if they are not like what you would expect leaf colors to be, although there are, oh, it's chunky, ew. That one might be, I've had that one for a long time. That one might be time for that one to go, but let's get it in there a little bit anyway. I know when you're doing watercolor, they suggest you do leaves. Don't do all the same color leaves. So a lot of, I don't know, but some watercolor artists will add a little blue, teal into the mix for that difference. All right, this is getting really thick, so I'm gonna let it dry and come in with some more layers in a bit. We don't know yet what it's gonna become, and we're not gonna worry about it either. All right, so here's some paper bags. Just gonna take what's left of this green. We get a little bit of yellow coming in there too, which is fine, and actually, you know, more better. It's more interesting like that, right? And just go ahead and get that. You could even use a gel plate. Like I said, you could use a brayer. In fact, let's grab the brayer. We might like to, if we can, we're gonna look, oh my goodness, if we can do it without knocking everything over, that'd be great. Just will give a little bit of a different look depending on what you use. You could also use paintbrushes if you want to. You don't need a lot. If you get like a few craft paints and you have like a gift card, you can start playing with paint and have fun with it and do really cool and interesting things. All right, so that was teal. I don't want to do that. Let's grab, sure, I don't love the hooker's green, like it's like a green, but to have it in here as a layer is a good base green layer to stick in here. I'll do the palette knife because it is pretty close to a leaf color, you know, and when you pair it with the turquoise, it's not too bad. And I might even shock some of you and use like some Payne's Gray at some point, because I like Payne's Gray in pretty much everything. I'm surprised I didn't put it in any of the fall leaves. Kind of surprised about that. That's still a little bit wet, but that's okay. And then if paint is really thick, you just take another paper and just stick it on top of there, and then you don't have to do this. You can let it dry thick. That's just texture. But this also adds a little bit of texture when you do it this way as well. And now we can see some of the gesso through because a little bit more translucent because we've thinned it out by pressing that paper on there. And this paper has interest. If you're wondering why I do things, there's all kinds of weird reasons. No, I don't want Italian sage. What's this one? How's your light green? I already did that one. Not that I can't do it again. Let's do sage, which is like a blue, it's like a green gray or a blue gray. I didn't shake it. I should have. That's okay. But it's almost like blue. Yeah, it's a little bit on the blue side. And I've told people before, I like the Catalyst Wedge because it's a little bit wider at the top. If I could find something that's even a little bit wider, I might even prefer that. And because it's bigger. So like if I'm using a gift card, then I have to hold it in a certain way. I have to hold it like this. For this, I'm holding it a little bit wider, and it's a little bit better on my hand than a gift card would be. But also, like this isn't bad. It's bigger, so it's a little bit easier to hold on your hand. It just is narrow at the top, which is fine. This is just you know, scrape out the cake bowl. So this comes from the cake section or the food section. But then don't use it with food once you've used it with paint. I feel like that should be an obvious thing, but you never know. I just figure I'll just cover my bases and just mention that bit. But the palette knife is really my favorite thing to use because you get these little ridges and whatnot that I really like. All right, I'm setting that aside to dry. I don't want to lose too much of the colors that are in there. And I'm bringing back some more matte. Oh, that was thick there, so it's a little bit wet. It's still, oops, oh my goodness. The gift card fell down on the wet paint. Oh, what about a light green? Palmetto. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Shake it up. And the paints you use don't matter. I have some chalk paints. I have the cheapy paints. I have some golden paints. I'll mix them up. I don't care. I'm more about just play and see what happens. That's kind of how I art. I just play, see what happens. That's what I enjoy. So there we go. Got some green and some patches. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm just curious. I'm just gonna add it because it's fun. Mint green. Mint green I like to use in a lot of things. I'm almost out of it though. The other next closest thing to mint green would probably be is Sage Blossom. It's not quite mint green, but you know, Sage Blossom is the one that is my nostalgia color. Oh my goodness. Do the centrifugal force. Spinning it around. But I gotta do it with my left arm, and I can't really do that under the camera as easily. Did that help? No, it didn't help. Is it like all thick like the other one? My left hand is doing... No, that's not gonna work. Is this gonna work? We'll try it. We will try it, she says. There we go. This thing, Amazon. Super. I need to do an Amazon store where I've got all the links to all the stuff I like. Because I could have a section for art, and I could have a section for chronic pain. Alright, yeah it is. It's a little bit on the thick side. I like that color. I'll have to figure out how to make it. So yeah, when these paints that you like the colors of, when you run out of them, if you have like regular paints, kind of like I do, you could just try to recreate those colors. I did do it with, I got pretty close with the surfboard color that I like. Or the beach glass. So this beach glass is not the original color. It's what I've mixed. So much for that centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. Do it around in a circle. I saw a girl do it. She did her whole arm. I was like, no, I can't do my whole arm. But it's kind of like, almost like that sage green a little bit too. It's just blue with some orange. Which blue? I don't know. Just keep trying blues and oranges until you get a color you like. So it actually looks gray next to the greens. Oh, that's part of color theory. The colors are going to look different depending on what they're sitting next to. I don't know a lot about color theory. I never went to school for art or anything like that. I just play and do stuff. This is still really bright for grungy leaves, but that's all right. We're just not there yet. We'll know. We'll know when we get there. We haven't added any brown yet either. In fact, let's go ahead and I'm going to do some yellow ochre, which I love yellow ochre for foresty, nature, fall, all the things. It's a good base if you want some greens, especially if you're going to add some blues and turquoises. It will green things out a little bit. Ouch, and give that nice yellow undertone. kind of mostly hitting where the paint is, but that's all right too. But it's not just hitting there. It's hitting in all the different places. Let's do this teal. It's turquoise green, but it's like more like a teal, like a dark turquoise green, and it will mix a little bit with whatever's down there, which is fine. I was just going to kind of like use a color and put it away, but that doesn't seem to be happening. And having some of the paper bag show through is ideal. That's what I would like to happen. And then some places where the yellow, ochre, and green kind of mix together, cool things will happen. It'll get even more green. And let's just go ahead and take one of these and smush it on there. Whoops. Oh, there goes my antique white. It just fell on the floor. Don't leave it too long or you'll lose paper bits. Like you don't want it to dry like that or it'll totally get stuck. I did go to the rheumatologist today. We're going to try again with a sulfasalazine. He's giving me the slow release one that is coated so it doesn't release until it's in your intestines instead of your stomach. But that might not help my issue. My issue is that I start to smell sulfur. But I'm going to give, oh, see, cool stuff is happening. I'm going to give it more time this time. And if I have to live with the sulfur smell for a little bit and see if maybe my body gets used to it and then stops doing that. I don't know what I want to do with this because I really love what's happening with how the colors are melding together. So we'll let that dry and think on it a little bit. All right, let's do the yellow ochre again because that seemed fairly successful. Ooh, especially if it mixes with some of the turquoise, which of course then turns green because of the yellow. You know, that's how colors work. I'm assuming you know that's how colors, you know, yellow and blue-green just make more green. I don't know, what color do you guys like for like grungy leaves? Like, you know, kind of at the cusp. Or foresty leaves that, not the bright, oh, any leaves. What are your favorite leaves? I mean, I'm going to assume everybody's favorite leaves are the bright fall colored leaves, but, you know, that's just me. I think the gel plate would be a smart way to go for this as far as getting really cool colors too. Do I want to go grab it? No, we're just doing that. We'll do that another day. In fact, I might save some of these to play with the gel plate. But I don't want to have this video to like be forever, to take forever in a day. Oh, we do have this olive green. That could be fun. Very different than what's already on there. But the more layers you have, the more interest, especially if you've got like layers where some of the background still shows through. Does that make sense? I don't know. If I ever say something that doesn't make sense, just put the timestamp and be like, what were you trying to say here? And I may or may not know what I was trying to say. I don't know. So let's grab another paper to put on top of that one. Ooh, let's do the one that's the one that we picked up with before. That's what that one is. I'm like, that doesn't look like the one I just put down. Because it's not. It's the one. The other one. Which enabled you to get the cool effect. Alright, see? Having your papers be all smoochy like that's the secret to this kind of fun layering. Is to have smoochy papers. Getting all up in each other's business there. Alright, gonna set that aside. And let's see, I think I want to see, I think there's still some wet paint on there. So I just kind of want to get some of that off of there. Because when you do this, whatever the top paint is that was pretty wet, you'll then be able to have some places where the other color comes through. And you might have some places where the paper rips. It's alright. I told you that was a possibility. And if you're not careful, like I was not careful, then it's a probability. Trying to get that off of my finger. But you can see how much of that blue-gray came off. All right, that needs to dry because it's been compromised. It's been compromised. Let's see. Well, I haven't done any brown yet. Should we do some? This is raw umber. And if it mixes with that green, that's okay. And we don't have to do all, you know, sometimes the leaves are more brown. And that's good. I actually think that green with the brown actually would be kind of a cool combination, I think. We also have mushroom. No, that's not mushroom. That's linen. Where's the mushroom? I had a mushroom color. It's over here. Mushroom. Champagne. Champagne mushroom? It just says mushroom. Oh, champagne. It's a French word for mushroom. Never mind. Shake it up, Darcy. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Shake it up. Shake it off, but you know, also shake it up. For some gloopy. It's pretty much the color of paper bag, but you know, it's alright. It'd be good on the ones that aren't already the color. And when it mixes with other stuff, it just gets even more interesting. So that's good. Alright, let's go ahead and find something here that we can press down. Like I said, this seems to be where the magic happens, is when you do the pulling off some of the paint with the other papers. Yeah, I can't even tell where the mushroom was. Alright, the mushroom you might not want to use on the paper bag, because it's pretty much the color of paper bag. They could just call it paper bag. Okay, but this is kind of cool because now some of that dark brown is showing through, and you can see a slight difference between the paper bag and the mushroom color, and I like it. All right, we got a big blob over here. And we're not worried right now about how things look because it's all about the layers. We got layers. Kind of like we got chills, they're multiplying. We got layers, they're multiplying. And I'm losing control. Oh, do you want to see what that looks like? I mean, you'd see it when I bring it back if you could tell. But see, so now we have some of that brown on that green, which is good. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. Once it gets like pretty wet, it gets kind of more fragile, so you just kind of want to give it some time to dry. What about this ugly color? Nutmeg brown. I don't know. It's not an ugly color, and it might be altered. I'm not really sure. Let's just go ahead and put it right on here and use the brayer. I think that would be fun. And go ahead and grab this again and see if any of that will pick up. Ooh, some of the brown's coming off of the green paper and onto that one. That's nice. See, even that, just by itself, see how, because we've got a little bit more translucent now by doing such a thin layer, that the gesso is different than the paper. And that is interest right there. And that is why I do the gesso first. Now you know. Now you know why I do the gesso first. Let's go ahead and do some Van Dyke brown this time. It's a liquid. It's a fluid. I get paint everywhere. It's a fluid acrylic. It's going to take differently. If I can get the... Oh my goodness. If I can get the cover off. Did I have a... No. The kind that would take... That would pop this cover... Oh wait. I wonder where that is. Somewhere I have the opener that's supposed to be for the golden paints, which might have a thing to open that, but you know, we'll just do a little bit here and there. I was gonna say, and try not to go overboard, and then we went overboard. That's fine. I'm gonna do like I did and brayer it, only we are going to come back in with some other, this one's just plain, with some other papers to pick some of that up, because we don't want to waste it. We definitely don't want to waste it. I have Pink Pony Club stuck in my head. Yeah, I didn't want to totally cover that because I want some of that other brown showing through. Okay. Also, I don't want it as thick as this here either. Yeah, see, I like what's happening here where quite a bit of the paint, you're seeing a lighter, like where the gesso's coming through. I'm loving that. That makes me happy. All right, we're gonna get, and this is how I end up with grungy stuff. You put too much brown on something and then everything's gonna have some brown on it now. And that's where the grunge comes from. An explosion of brown. Just a little bits here and there. It's fine. It works perfectly for that. Let's see. Let's grab some. Oh, this is the one that's got some really cool stuff on it. So we don't want to cover it too much with brown, but we do want some on there. Okay, now we can take that and then pull that up with another. Yeah, it's just all putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. And you don't know where it's going to end up on the leaves when if you're cutting them up into die cuts. If you're using on a page, you have a little bit better idea, and you might not want, you know, big blobs like that, but also you might. All right, let's pull that back in. Pull some more of this up. I do like, let's see, whoops. Having it wet on both sides is not ideal. It's a little bit on the dangerous side, but that's okay. I'm trying to pull up more of that brown, and because I want the other brown to show through. And if I can't get the other brown to show through, that's not a big deal because I can just add more of that brown. Or this is the one where I like where everything's mixed. But let's see if we can get some little bits of grunge from that brown on there or not. We might not. No, it's pretty much dry. All right, but it is interesting still. Can you see where it's just not just plain brown, because we've pulled off quite a bit of it, so some of the other colors are showing through. I'm wondering if I can take any more. Like, I want more paint off. That's all right. I did say we could add more colors. We could add, I needs to dry. It's a little fragile right now because it's just really wet. So let's see. Oh, here. Just want little bits of brown. Yeah, see some little bits of grunge here and there. Oh, I was just watching Terry's September 10 questions for September, and somebody had said they wanted to do grunge but ended up doing whimsical, and his thing was, well, what is grunge to you? And that's a really good question. I find that a very interesting question, and I would like to know, what is it that makes you consider something grungy? And do you even like grungy? Not everybody does. It's okay. Not everybody has to. If everybody liked the same thing, it would be boring. So it's all good in the neighborhood if we don't like the same thing. All right, we're going to go with more yellow brown. Not go crazy with it this time. I wanted to show how layering up with the brayer gives you some interesting. All right, when you are brayering, be careful of that. And if you don't want those blobs, just go both directions. It helps a little bit. Spread those out. And then, yes, come back through and press down your other papers like we've been doing to just pull some of that off of there. You have to move quickly to do this, and you don't want to leave it too long or you'll, you know, end up ripping some stuff. Ouch. There we go. Probably should let that dry. How's this one? So we've got a little bit of yellow now and the greens. Like I said, I wanted to do some Payne's Gray on something here somewhere. So let's go ahead and pull in a little bit of Payne's Gray. I'm all about some Payne's Gray. It's like a really, really dark blue, and it just makes me happy. But like this here, that's really would be the ideal way to get some Payne's Gray on there. Because then it's just little bits, and you can't even tell if it's blue or black because it's so small. Those bits are a little thick. Let's see if we can thin them out with this. Ouch. Oh yeah, see, I like how whatever happened there, where some of the color's showing through now. Yep. So I like both things that happened. I like here where some of that background is coming through, and I like here where it just hit in certain spots, and that's why I like Payne's Gray. Now if I could have gotten that little bit amount out when I was doing the Van Dyke Brown, that would have been good. Well, we do have the raw umber, which is a little bit easier to work with, so that's good. So we got some blue greens, some grays, some darks. It really doesn't matter what. Let's do some of the, what did I call this? Nostalgic green. Oh, should we? No, we'll do this one first. That's what I pulled out first, the Sage Blossom. If we can open it. I think the other day, no, that was a different one. Okay. So I think with this, you have to be under this line here. I think is what I figured out the other day. Also, I have to hold it against, I might not be able to, ouch. I have to hold it up against my body too. And I might have to have one of my guys do it for me. Open it for me. That's not happening. All right, well, let's go to our second choice, which was one of the fluid greens. Sap green hue. I do have a thicker version of that too, actually. And yeah, this is probably my favorite color for doing grungy leaves. Let's do the thicker one. I've got this sap green as well. If I can open it. Like I said, I have the one for opening. Ooh, is it working? Yes, this one worked. The smallest one did work. I do have the one for, might be in my cart too. I'd have to stand up to find it. It does help if you don't let the paint build up like that. That's a cool circle though. Let that dry and I'll probably be able to use it on a piece of ephemera. Ephemera. So the heavy body obviously is more opaque than the fluid acrylic green. But that's okay, because what are we going to do? You know what we're going to do. We're going to come through and put this piece of paper on that piece of paper and see what happens. And then flip it and do it that way too, because why not? So now we've got some of the green on this one. And let's grab this one and get some of the green on this one. And so now it is a little bit more translucent because we pulled some of it off. Can we get any more off? Seems to be drying pretty quickly. Okay, let's get some green on here. What will we do with this paper? I don't know. It depends on if there's any of that paper left because I just keep making a mess with it. All right, we have this phthalo turquoise too. And I think that with the, okay, which way do we go? Left. I'm trying to, it worked the first time. That does not mean it will work again. Oh, it did. Oh, happy day. Ooh. This is why little paints get around the edge of that. It's a nice dark. And let's just go ahead and put some of that on there. Oops, that's a very blue phthalo green. Actually looks kind of Payne's gray when it's on the brown, so that's kind of cool. And let's see if we can pull any up. And we're not worried about if it's all one page cohesive, because in the end, oh my goodness, I'm getting hot. Okay, gotta take off that shirt. I'm still wearing a shirt. I'm just taking off my long sleeve shirt. It's like 75 out today, I think. So the windows are open. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. Ooh, what if we take this flash metallic on top of some of this brown and green business? Brown and, yeah, turquoise. Why is it not? Because you didn't do the centrifugal force. Do the centrifugal force to get it. I could even use some, I've got some fluid acrylics. That would be fun too. All right. Now let's see. Get it on the brayer. I got this at Ocean State Job Lot up in Plymouth, Massachusetts. If you are in the northern states, you might have an Ocean State Job Lot. And I must have it other places too. Just I got it like for $1. Cream Coat is the brand. I think Walmart sells it. Sells that. But isn't that cool? Look how I don't know if you can see the shimmer in the, but the brayer gives it that little, you know, that cool look. And we've taken that brown blob and turned it into something much more interesting. And I might even want to add a little bit more turquoise back in. Maybe. Maybe. Ooh, I also have this pearlized dark green to try on something. Kind of going the opposite direction this time. There we go. So now it's dark and grungy, and do I want to put something else like this? Maybe. Just get some of that off. It'll dry faster anyway. We've mixed little bits of turquoise have ended up in there. All right, I think this one is done and will make really cool leaves. Oh, let's see. What do we want to do with this one? Should we? Over the yellow, it's going to look more green probably. I mean, you could even just take paper and brayer on it and then just pull off like that. So, because just look at all the different, because it's just more better. We were going to try this pearlized dark green though, weren't we? Very pearly. Ooh, that was a lot. That goes in there. Unless I really love it and then I have to bring it back in, we'll see. Careful with your thing. All right, let's go ahead and take this one and press it on there so we can pull some off. Put it on, take it off. Put it on, take it off. That's what we do here. Oh, shoot. And we be careful that it doesn't stick. So that's got a little bit of shimmer and just more interest now. It's all about interest, people. And so it's definitely more green. Some of the yellow still shows through. We'll see what else I decide to do on there. I don't know. And I may have to, well, how are we on time? Yeah, I might have to come back tomorrow and do more even though I really need to get these leaves done and get them out, but my back's starting to hurt, so. Because I've already done, you know, I did the doctor's appointment. Oh, he did give me a referral to a podiatrist. Because I got a cyst on my foot. That's real fun. But see, oh, this paper here, we're not worried about that. That just adds, it's just that paper there. It's stuck on there now. And acrylic paint is like plasticky, gluey bits. So it's on there now. I could try to peel it off now while it's still wet. But I don't want to because I like it. I like the grunge. All right, I really want to keep playing, but my pain level is too high for that. So I'm going to pause here, and you guys won't even know I've been gone, but I will. Okay, I'm back. My light is not great today. I'm not sure why. It just feels dark, like, around my desk, even though I've got, like, 2 lights. And, oh, I know, I haven't turned the light behind me on. That's why. That helps a little bit for me. I don't know about you guys, but it helps me a little bit. All right, this one needs work. This one actually might be good. I can always add stuff after I cut the leaves if there's something I don't like. But as far as leaves go, I think that one is okay. Of course, these are all dry because that was yesterday. This one definitely needs work. This one needs work. This one needs work. I mean, unless you like just plain brown, which some people might. I mean, it could. And this one, I think, is looking pretty fantastic, if I do say so myself. Seems like I had a lot more papers than that. Oh, I do. They're just over here. I'm like, why I have more papers than that? This one's, you know, making good progress. So these two are similar. They're on the, one of the maps. Yeah, the maps. This one definitely needs work. This one hasn't even been started yet. This one, I think, needs work. This one, I mean, it could work as it is, but also could use work. This one hasn't really been started yet. And I was watching Patty at the Bumbling Crafter. She was doing a video inspired by my fall leaves that I did. And she was using a lot of water. So I'm like, I might want to use some water. I might have done that last time. I can't remember. This one needs some work as well. This one, I'm kind of curious to see if I just cut a leaf out with that. I think they look kind of cool. I think this one, it could use some work, but it also might be pretty good as it is, especially if I were to take some coffee ink and just kind of go over the white parts so they're not quite as white. But not with that, because there's no dauber on that, so that does not work super well. But yeah, just kind of grunging it up with some, which I could even do like once the leaves are done. And let's see, you could do it like that, or you could do some stenciling. What do we have that is just, oh, I like the, I think there's a, no, not this one. Well, actually, that one could work. Any of these could work. All right, so we could even just do like, I can do this. Oh my goodness. I could pause, but you know, the more I pause, the more dangerous that is. So I'll just grab these real quick. There should be one that can be used for brown, even if it doesn't say on it. This is permanent ink, which at this point probably wouldn't matter so much because I don't think I'll be adding a lot of liquid to it. But so this, if you do a stencil, then you'll get, you know, some darkness up, but while still keeping some white, which is a fun, interesting way to do it. Ooh, I like this for fall. I always think of houndstooth for fall. Got some squares. Also, this kind of crackly business could also work, and could even use a darker, let's see, maybe even some green. Try green. Where's my green? This is fern green, which is nothing like the green I've got on here, but that's okay. That's the whole thing, is we do different greens just to, so that just makes it not all white. Kind of adds a little bit to that. Let's see, let's do this on, actually, I might want a different green. Doesn't have to be a different green, but I do have a green here that I like. And I have a darker brown as well. Oh, I'm like, what's that noise? My husband is putting air on his tires. That's what that noise is. Alright, we've got this one, which is Shady Lane. And we also have Verdant, Warm Breeze, and a yellow. The other browns are not in here. I think I might have my, you know, Fallen Leaves would be a good color. Yeah, so hubby's home. He was out and about. That's Fallen Leaves. No, that's Pine Cone. I know you didn't come here to watch me figure out inks, but that's okay. Anybody know what happened to the cover of that? I'll probably have to pause in a second when he comes in the house. He went and got his flu shot this morning because that is mandatory for his job. I know, super not fun. Well, if I have to go on Humira, it would be mandatory for me. I don't even know if I can go on Humira because I'd have to get approval from my surgeon, because you're not supposed to go on Humira if you have had cancer. So, and for anybody who's new, I had stage 1 cancer in January. That was removed, completely removed with surgery. So I could also do some stamping as well. I think I have, oh, see, this I usually wait until afterwards. This is the distress style. Ooh, this one is good. This gives me a lot of different variation of just little different lines and grunginess. And because the paper is a little bit wrinkly, it's not perfect. So that ends up being perfect for what I'm doing and what I want. So that makes me happy. When you see me use black foam stamps, those are always from PM Artist Studio. I don't have any foam stamps from anywhere else. And I'm good. I like overlapping patterns as well. So putting this pattern over the houndstooth just makes it more better. And you can usually get quite a few stampings out of just one. I do like this stamp quite a bit. Just going to cover the whole thing, because why not? And if you double stamp it, that works too. It just gives you a little bit more lines. And then now you have grunge all over the page, and that makes me happy. This will give you a little bit of a different, which one is this one? This must be the Fallen Leaves still. This is just a crackle stamp from Stampendous, but just give you lines, different lines. We like that. Okay. I didn't use coffee this time. I thought about it this morning when I was waking up. So I don't know if I'll do another set with coffee. But this breaks up that blue-gray, which is good. So now this is getting closer and closer to what I want it to be. This is the light-colored paper bag. And so I might want, put brown on there now. Maybe a different green. Which green? Oh, I don't know. Maybe, how's your light green? Or, well, they're pretty close actually. The light olive green. Either one of those should probably work. Alright, so I'm just going to do kind of like I've been doing. Just going to add some more green. Oops. And, you know, we'll see how I like this. And then I'm also picking some of it up with the other papers, which I didn't think of this as stamping, but stamping with paper, sort of kind of what I'm doing. which puts us into the how do you do realm of things, where we are, for September, we are using not stamps to stamp. Of course, in this video, I've also used stamps to stamp, but there will be a video coming out where I use not stamps for stamps. This is not the video, but you know, I can at least introduce it a little bit. So we've got some of the brown has been pushed back a little bit. That's not a bad thing. I think I will do some green sap hue, which is super dark, but that's okay. That's what I want. I want a variety. I think, like right now, it might look really busy, but when you get it down small to leaf size, I think there's going to be a difference. And then also, you know, being able to take some of that off so that we can see what's behind it. And I could do a little bit of water like Patty was doing. Oh, especially if I do like little sprays, it'll come up. I was doing that last time, wasn't I? I would spray it and then I would pick it up so that some of it would be coming off. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You have to do it while it's still wet. I don't know how wet it was. But we're getting closer with this one. This is kind of light, but the whole purpose of using it was for a little bit of light. Maybe I want, I think I want something dark, so maybe some Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray. You don't have to turn, I don't know why that song came to mind. Payne's Gray and Roxanne, yeah, they sound nothing alike. Why my brain went to Roxanne when I said Payne's Gray, I couldn't tell you. Not even a little bit. Right, just want to get little bits of dark. Dark that's not brown, because I already had brown on here. And come back in. Press the paper down. I don't know. Why was that what it needed? I really couldn't tell you. Maybe because we had that other blue in there, and so maybe just a little bit of this blue. I don't know. Because I'm not really, I mean, I'm going for more dead leaves in the forest more than, and maybe even some live leaves, but some not quite as dead leaves. But more grungy, not necessarily fall colored leaves. So, all right, I think we'll leave this one as it is. And when I cut the, this one we said was, yeah, that one I think is ready. Let's go ahead and pick some of this up if we can. Some of this background page. Well, usually I use these as book pages, journal pages, so we'll see. Alright, and then I couldn't decide if this one was done or not. It's got some really interesting things happening. I think it might need some darker brown, because we got that little bit of dark brown. I think I want more. I think I'll use these numbers by Froyle Davies. This is one of her designs. Couldn't tell you which one. She's got like about 4 different ones, I think. I'm just gonna kind of turn it every which way as I put it down, and it's going to be lighter in some spots, darker in some spots. One thing I do think of when I think of grunge is numbers. I don't know why, but numbers and grunge seem to be friends. They're friends. Also, for fall, I like this sweater knit kind of deal happening. I think I will do, this is not even, I'm going to do this bright green. It's going to be subtle. So subtle it's a secret, as Carrie the Crafter would say. That is his quote. Ooh, someone's mowing the lawn. I can hear it. So subtle, it's a secret. I can't even see it. Oh, I can see it a little bit. Well, because there was brown on here, so it's not quite as green. But it's got, and well, at least he has an electric mower. Hubby's mowing the lawn. But it's an electric mower, so it's not like super loud. But he also knows I'm recording. But he might not realize that I have the window open. And yes, I overlap my patterns. Numbers and what, and sweater weave kind of a deal works for me. Now more green is showing, like on that white there, especially where I want to get this is where it's white or not a ton of color happening. All right, I kind of want to see how that cuts. So I'm going to leave that as that is and go to the next one. Let's do this again. See, I like this one kind of as it is, but I just want to add a little more texture and some more greens, I think. Yeah, I like that. It's just subtle. This is Verdant Versafine Clair. I could even turn this. I don't have to do it all the same direction, but oh, maybe start at the bottom this time. Yeah, there we go. I like, especially where it's showing where it's white, kind of makes that a little less plain. I think I like that. It's just green, doesn't have any brown on it. It's got a little bit of turquoise here and there. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay. Next. Here. I think we have enough to play with. Like, even if I don't finish all of these. Where are my polka dots? Because, oh, we also have this. So this, and these, ooh, and that. Yeah, I kind of keep some of my background stamps that are some good ones. All right, we'll do the pine cone with these open circles. And maybe do some green with this. This is another Floral Davies. The circles are Carrie's, the open circles and the closed ones are Carrie the Crafters. And then this, I think she calls it a rose, is Floral Davies. It's got a nice grungy appeal and look to it, which I like. I know it's not really showing up. I know it's there. Maybe some green. I mean, there's probably brown on here, so it's not going to necessarily be green, but especially where it's like really white and light, I just want to add some kind of texture. And then this one I think is your land, and I'm going to do that one with brown, the same brown I did the small circles with. I forget what this one's called. I used to spell her name Y-O-L-A-N-D-E. And so if you're ever doing a search in the it's coming out super subtle. Come on, ink. So subtle, it's a secret, which is fine. Oh, there you go. You can see the numbers and lines there a little bit better. Just kind of turn it, move it around. It's just getting some brown in the background. It's all good in the neighborhood. Yeah, see, just getting some grunge back there. All right, I think this one is now ready to make leaves. I'll cut this time. I'm going to cut the leaves off camera. I think that's enough pages to play with for now. We still have these that need more work. I could even, I think I want to play on the gel plate with these because they're more wrinkly, and I think that will be fun on the gel plate. So I'm going to save those. I'm going to pause and cut some leaves, then I'll be back. And then by then my husband should be done mowing the lawn. Okay, I just did this without you, so I'm probably going to have to show you how I did it. Kind of, sort of how I did it. It's a little bit more orangey back there because I used the red iron oxide with the whatever was left of this green gold. I do have a new green gold, but I'm trying to use up whatever's left of the pigment in here. And every time I spray in here, there's still more pigment to be had, so that's a good thing. So I just kind of did a wash of the green gold And then because I know that green and red are going to make brown, I thought, well, let me just also add some transparent red oxide, even though it's a darker red and a lighter green. So I know it'll still be orange in places, but it should also brown out in some places. And then I think after that I added some sap. But because these are transparent, you also, get the gesso coming through. So then the sap green, which is here, sap green hue. Just kind of mix some of that in there. Just kind of spreading it out, kind of doing a wash, but not a complete cover each time. And then also coming back in with some other paper, or even sometimes I was doing this just to get the outside edges a little bit more. And some of this. Oh, I also did some green gold on this. So if the green gold is transparent, so you get some cool stuff happening. Because you still see all the textures from underneath. So if you're wondering what the big deal is with green gold, well, I mean, or even the fluid acrylics. This is the beauty of the fluid acrylics. You have a lot that still comes through when you use them. I know my outside edges are a little bit, and that's when I came in with the turquoise. I don't think that's quite the turquoise I wanted. I think it's the same as this vintage teal. Yeah. Let's try this darker one, this turquoise green. Maybe mixed with a little bit of, oh my goodness. No, sorry, I want the Soho. I think this is the one I want. It's a little bit deeper. And so I just kind of want to get some of that on there. It's a little more blue, which is fine. Get some of this one in there too. Mix it up, press it down, spread it around, take one down, press it around. All kinds of turquoise blue on the paper. Yeah. But it's the fluid acrylics that give you that cool background that's happening there. And of course, the thinner you put these down, the more transparent they'll be as well. And let's see, this was paper bag. This was Amazon packaging, I think. Yeah, Amazon packaging. Usually if it has that kind of a... I'm not worried. If I don't get it to the edges, that's fine too, because... I'm using it for die cutting, so I'll just cut out the good parts, the really interesting parts that are happening in here. It's a little bit orange still, but that's okay. It's still mostly green. Yep, so now that needs to dry. So I just wanted to, show you what happens when you mix some of those transparent, see how transparent that one is. This one is less transparent, and this one is quite transparent. In fact, I might do a little bit more around the edges, and maybe even just throw some water on there so it spreads easier, maybe, and then do more layers, because why not? I mean, we can do as many layers as we want. Come back in, pick some of it up with some other papers. Could be a different paper, could be the same paper over and over again. It's just gonna have interest. It's gonna green out the blue that was on here too. So this might look a little bit busy to some people, but when it's a small leaf, it's gonna be more better. Just trust me on that. Let's go ahead and just add a little bit of that over here, some too. Just kind of hoping it would brown out a little bit more, which it does a little bit. It's just more like a sienna, I guess, which I do have, actually. Could be using that. I have that as a high flow. Where is it? Not that one. I do have it. I know I have it. Burnt sienna, yeah. So burnt sienna is technically brown and is probably pretty close to the red iron oxide. So, you know, we're in the brown neighborhood. Let's just spray it a little bit. Just, even though it's already high flow. And then lift it. Put it down, lift it up. Put it down, lift it up. Put it down, lift it up. And I just love the depth. And all the more things you can add, the more interesting it gets. That's just my opinion. We'll see when I cut them. This one definitely needs to dry before I can cut it. But I think that they will be very cool. Especially if I add some more like brown stamping or stenciling or something. Potentially. Like brown. Like the fallen leaves kind of a brown. But also just this alone I think will be enough. Even that too is going to be. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so before I cut these up, which I'm going to do off camera, I just wanted to show you guys real quick what all the papers look like. They're dry, mostly dry. Definitely need to be fully dry before I put them through the die cutting machine. I have a Vagabond too because my shoulder can't do the Sizzix. I think this one's going to be some cool, really cool leaves. Alright, there's those three, and that one I showed. Oops, I need to put my paints away. Don't know if I'm done for the day, but this has that shimmer. This has the some of this flash metallic on it. Probably could do it on this one too. I'll see, because I still want to see what some of the leaves look like that. Then we have this one and this one. I think they're going to be really cool and interesting. I hope. Fingers crossed. I did these papers without you, but I'm probably going to cut them down into leaves. So I wanted to make sure to show you these ones, which, oh, sorry. When I take the pictures, I have to take the light off. So I took some pictures. So it's just layers and layers of just the blue greens and some greens and some browns and who knows what else. But this is what they look like before. I just kind of went over this one well, not completely, see, with the turquoise phthalo, and then lifted some off, and you can, because it's somewhat translucent, you can see all those dark spots beneath. That's why I like fluid acrylics. Also, you can just take your regular paints and just make them really thin so that they're somewhat translucent. And then we've got browns and burnt sienna, and some the green. This matte showing fabric, so I guess somewhere else, moss green, which I kind of wish I'd used that on more, but I might just do some papers where I just do the moss green and brown, and maybe some teal, because those look nice together. But this video is getting really long, so that'll have to be another video. Okay, I have them all cut. There's some medallions and some leaves, and they're all very different. I would probably add some stamping to some of these for when I'm using them. These are some of my favorites, the ones where it's the fluid acrylics, layers and layers of the fluid acrylics are some of my favorites. Also, the teal ones I really like. So these are ones that have a lot of layered fluid acrylics. They're very dark, very green. This one's got some orange, as does that one. This one's got more yellowy orange, lighter color. That's a section that had quite a bit of blue, so I just kind of did the butterfly for that. There's that one. Gotta wait for things to, maybe if I just keep my hand there, that'll help, and just kind of pile stuff on top. Yeah, that one got a little innard from one of the leaves stuck on there. I don't know if it'll come off or not. Hold on, we'll just keep my hand here. Just stick some leaves on there so you can kind of see them all kind of close up. You can see, you know, it's not just teal. There's greens in there, a little bit of white sticking out. Sometimes I will also go through and just do some splatters, some tiny little black splatters with a paintbrush using either a black acrylic ink, white acrylic ink, or some black or white paint mixed with water, acrylic paint. Just mix with water to thin it out. If you want really tiny little splatters, I use a toothbrush for tiny splatters. A new one, not one that's been in someone's mouth. See these ones? I just love that. This one's got a little bit of the blue-gray. That one's another one like that. Let's see, this one I had upside down, so it's just the embossing is on this side. That's the colorful side. So I guess if you want the debossed side, you can have the colorful side. All right, let's see. Then there's that one. That one. I just love the details on here and all the speckly bits. Did I show this one or not? I don't know. And there's that butterfly. And then so if you took some gilding wax or something like that to the embossed bits, they'll stand out more. See, even that one's interesting. I would probably ink this one up with some brown ink just to take away some of the white. But maybe somebody else likes it just the way it is. Is that the right side? Yeah, that's the right side. And if you didn't like that, you just turn it over and use that side. That's why I like using the brown packaging, because then, you know, if someone really doesn't like that color combination, they can just turn it over and use it as a tan leaf, and it's still just as cool. So yeah, I got a lot of leaves done today. I still have a little bit of scraps left so that I can do some hand-drawn leaves. I like that one. I like the blues and teals. So like there's a teal one next to a green one, but wouldn't they look really nice together on a tag, because that has just a little bit of the teal in it. And now you know why I combine colors and have them a little bit on each one. See, that one is just really cool. They're all really cool, I mean, truth be told. And it's just, you know, randomly, okay, come on, randomly playing with paints on paper. On papers. What was that one? That one? That one doesn't have a lot of paint, but it's still cool. And once you ink it up, here, I'll save that one out to ink up so you can see. Did I show that one yet? So you can see the difference when you know, just take a little bit of ink to it. All right, so these are, see, some of them have a lot of paint, some of them not a lot of paint. That one broke, but I could still use the tip of it somewhere. Probably wouldn't go in a package that's getting mailed out. I love that. So yeah, these have more, this one has more map showing, which is just as interesting. I'll probably try to mail out, when I do orders, I'll try to do more of the painty. See, I think that one's cool too. More of the painty ones. Just because I think that's what people would prefer. There we go. But because they're next to each other on the color wheel, that's why the turquoise with the green works. I'm not going to say it. If Andrea Nelson had trouble saying it, I'm going to have trouble. Analogous colors. That's colors that are next to each other, right? At least that's what Andrea Nelson was saying in a video I saw earlier today. And I think she was doing the butterflies. Watercolor butterflies. Just a few left. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what was your favorite, if you have a favorite. I like, this one had the stamping and all that. Well, that one got cut off, but that's okay. I'd still use it. Wouldn't put it in an order unless it was like an extra one that's not counted. See, I like that one too. It's got that little bit of blue also. That one's really cool. That's right, I'm gonna ink. And that one's just as cool too. It's different. I like that one. Little tiny one. Those don't count either. That one, quite a bit of map is showing, but green, it's just really cool. That one, I don't know. I like them. The yellowy ones, not as much of my favorites, but I would just add some stamping to it, and then I will probably like them better. This one of my favorites. That one looks very leafy. Yeah, these have some of the stamping on it, I think. And that is the last one. And then I was going to show the difference of if you ink, where's my, so like this one, just kind of plain as it is, but if you just add a little bit of inking around the edge and maybe even on where the paper bag is, just darken it up a little bit, and also browning out that green a little bit, in my opinion. And then also it brings out some of that veining that one has, because that one is an impresslet. Unfortunately, impresslets are discontinued. You might be able to find them on eBay. Those are the ones that are like the butterflies and the medallions and the leaves that have the embossing on them. And I used to sell them just plain. I mean, I still can. I just probably need to just... the butterflies kept getting cracked bums. Their bums kept ripping. So I was like, you know what? I can't sell perfect ones. So I just took them out of the store. But yeah, just adding the ink kind of changed it up and made it a little bit less contrast than it was. I could do that with this one as well. Or even just take some ink and bring out some of the embossing on that, and that helps some. See, that one's, it's fine how it is, but I would probably still just push back the white a little bit, fringe it up some more, ink the edges maybe, and now it's just a little bit more grungy. But you don't have to do that. Ooh, let me find the gold. Actually, maybe the gold if I have it. I mean, I have it, but it's all dried out. So we'll see if I can get it to do anything by spraying some water on it. I think you're supposed to be able to get some gold on my finger. Except I'm just getting crumbs, kind of, sort of. Yeah, this one doesn't work so great. I mean, it golds it up some, but I mean, they're the same brand. I wonder if I can get this Inca Gold one in gold. I have it in the teal, and it has not. It has not done the bad thing. So yeah, a little bit of that, just kind of on there, brings out the thing. Will the other wax do that? That's a good question, Darcy. Asking all the questions. This one is old denim. It's also a wax, but it is in a tube. Not sure how I feel about that. It works too. It's not quite the blue that I would, I guess old denim. It is kind of old denim-y. Whew, it smells a little bit. That's what that one is. I might put some teal on there too, just for, because why not? Why not put as many colors on there as you can? I don't know why not. Maybe there is a reason why not. I'm not sure how I feel about that green in the background, but that's okay. Somebody else might love it. Or I could just, you know, add some sprays to it. That would work as well. Do I have any other ones that are... No, not that one. That one, no. Seeing any of the other ones that have the... Oh, this one's got some turquoise on it, so this might be just what it needs. So I like to use Painty papers for the medallions, and sometimes I'll also use like collage papers. And I have saved some of these papers out so that I can use them in collage. Alright, so this one's by Inka Gold. This one's by Art Alchemy, in case you're wondering. This one is also Inka Gold, but it's the Gilder's Wax. And for the price that it is, I'm kind of irritated that it has done that. Same price as this one. This one has more in it, and it still works. So, might have got it in 2022. I don't know. Don't know if that's the date it was made or what. But 2.2 ounces? Is that what it says? Anyway. Alright. I hope you guys have a delightful day. I hope you enjoyed this series. I don't know if I'll do any more of this or not. If I do, it'll probably be on the gel plate. But I will keep making mixed media stuff and just having fun with it and trying new things. I hope you guys have a delightful day. Love you. Bye.